At this juncture, I would like to extend my personal thanks and warm welcome to our distinguished guests, the Honorable Vice President of India, Shri M. Venkaiah Naidu, and the Honorable Minister for Housing and Urban Affairs and Civil Aviation, Shri Hardeep Singh Puri. Sir, we are honored to have both of you with us today. It speaks of both the GRIHA summit, but more importantly, your participation brings to the summit the kind of stature that the summit needs, the summit deserves, and the summit needs to get a lot of attention to the key things that it speaks about. So the past year with COVID-19 has been one in which there has been widespread disruption around the world and severe repercussions in the terms of human health and, more importantly, economic activity. The lasting impact on economies and living standards will persist for some time. And therefore, it is essential that we work together for a resilient tomorrow and an even more resilient day after tomorrow. As we emerge from the pandemic, and now it seems that we are, both based on the results that are occurring in India and the results on the vaccine on the horizon, we are looking also at the kinds of challenges posed by climate change and expect that these two will remain issues in the coming years. Consequently, it's a continued effort and cooperation that we need to build a secure and sustainable future. This year's summit, Rejuvenating Resilient Habitats, explores the themes of preparedness and resilience and the possibilities for building systems that are better equipped to deal with these people. So I would like to mention that as we were emerging from the pandemic, one of the things that the GRIHA Council did was to produce an index called the Building Fitness Index, which is a measure that buildings use and has been used extensively to help building managers in making sure that their buildings are fit for occupation after the pandemic. Is it clean? Has it gone through sanitization? Are there screening measures in place? So based on the practices that the WHO, the OSHA, the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare have put together in managing exposure have been brought together in this particular tool. So as you well know, GRIHA has been a catalyst for the widespread adoption of green development, particularly green buildings development in India, and is seen now, after all these years, as a very effective agent of change in addressing issues related not only to buildings, but also to air quality, the protection of biodiversity, and the pressing need to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. We have built up resource efficiency in the design, construction, and operation of buildings, and cater both to new buildings as well as to existing buildings. The Indian government has acknowledged GRIHA as a tool to evaluate reduction in emissions intensity through habitats as part of its strategy to combat climate change in the nationally determined contributions that we gave at the time of the Paris meeting of the UNFCCC. During this year, we have also brought out other initiatives such as Prayas, which looked at cleanliness, the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, the Paryavaran Raksha, through which we reached out to RWAs to help them into the task both of proactive management and of enabling systems to be put in place that allow them to monitor and to help move ahead on the green agenda. In keeping with the times, this year we organized a virtual exhibition where an opportunity to provide manufacturers to disseminate information about their products to various stakeholders through webinars and as well as through a virtual exhibition. We hope that this has provided the background that is needed for the launch of the new version of GRIHA, the 2019 version as it is called. I want to thank all our partners for their unending support the international collaborators for the confidence that they've placed in GRIHA. And it is without doubt that the progress that has been made is because of this cooperative actions of both individuals and organizations. As we approach 2021, we want to strenuously reiterate our commitment to ensuring that the GRIHA Council will remain a frontrunner and will continue to provide the leadership that is needed in order to move to a greener future. It is our hope that this summit will be an enriching experience for everyone. I look forward to people coming together, and this number keeps on increasing. We look forward to them coming together and move the agenda from the GRIHA Council to the vast numbers of developers across the country. Sir, Mr. Vice President, I again thank you for your presence, for your agreement to deliver the inaugural address, and to you, Mr. Puri, for agreeing to deliver the ministerial address at this inauguration. I again welcome you all to the 12th GRIHA Summit.
Thank you, Dr. Mathur, for that wonderful speech. I would now like to invite Shri Hardeep Singh Puri ji to kindly deliver the ministerial address.
Honorable Vice President Shri Venkaiah Naidu ji, President of the GRIHA Council and Director General of TERI, Dr. Ajay Mathur, and participants at the 12th GRIHA Virtual Summit, I want to extend a very warm good morning to you, and I want to begin by expressing my appreciation to the Green Rating for Integrated Habitat Assessment, GRIHA Council, for organizing this virtual summit to engage with all the relevant stakeholders. I'm confident that deliberations held during this summit will enable knowledge sharing and encourage the development of green and sustainable habitats across the country. The Government of India recognizes the imperative of and accords the highest priority to environmental preservation and countering climate change as essential areas of focus for our nation and planet. Sustainable development by leveraging the latest technology and innovation are vital tools to tackle environmental degradation and climate change. The theme of this year's summit, Rejuvenating Resilient Habitats, is of extreme importance. By 2030, when work is completed on the UN 2030 Sustainable Development Agenda, nearly 600 million Indians, or 40% of the country's population, will reside in urban spaces. To cater to this growing urban population, India has to build 700 to 900 million square meters of urban space every year until 2030. In other words, we will have to construct a new Chicago every year from now till 2030 to meet our urban demands, which means 70% of urban India of the future is yet to be built. With that in mind, the scope of implementation for green, sustainable, resilient infrastructure norms and technologies is immense. Therefore, platforms such as this summit are essential in promoting discourse and encouraging collaboration towards this common goal. As our citizens continue to move into urban areas, it has to be ensured that the appropriate urban systems and infrastructure are in place. This infrastructure should provide essential services to our citizens while also being able to deal with the magnitude of demographic shifts taking place sustainably. Our government has taken up various measures for adopting construction technology reform in the housing and real estate sector. The Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs had organized a Global Housing Technology Challenge India, GHTC India, in January 2019, which aimed to identify and mainstream best available and proven construction technologies that are sustainable, green, and disaster resilient to enable a paradigm shift in housing construction. As a part of the construction technology year 2019 to 2020, 6 innovative technologies have been selected from 54 proven technologies that participated in GHTC India for constructing 6 lighthouse projects. About 1,000 houses each will be built with allied infrastructure facilities at 6 places in different technical regions, namely Indore, Rajkot, Chennai, Ranchi, Agartala, and Lucknow. Through the Affordable Housing Accelerators, Asha India initiative, 5 incubation centers have also been set up for identifying innovative materials, processes, and technology for resource-efficient, resilient, and sustainable construction. Another critical concern is the availability of water. India has no shortage of coastline and rivers. What India needs is a very comprehensive strategy to recycle, reuse, and treat water. We should be acutely conscious of this concern. Green buildings, I believe, will be essential in ensuring we don't overuse our resources to the point of crippling shortage in the years ahead. Green buildings can address 9 of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals or SDGs. And I congratulate GRIHA on the launch of GRIHA 2019, the upgraded version of GRIHA Council, GRIHA 5, which strives to align our efforts more closely with the SDGs. Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji's flagship urban development programs, all of which were launched when the Honorable Vice President was the Minister for Housing and Urban Affairs, has embarked upon the world's largest and most comprehensive program of planned urbanization undertaken anywhere in the world. Shri Venkaiah Naidu ji, under whose astute leadership of the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, our urban flagship missions began these requisite urban transformation. I'm very happy to report to you, Honorable Vice President, that most of these flagship programs are now have either matured or are nearing maturity, and we are now currently engaged in the task of conceptualizing the successor programs. By promoting cooperative federalism, ensuring integrated planning, and focusing on an outcome-based approach, we have had a strong start to our urbanization journey. The COVID-19 pandemic has presented the need for social distancing and health security norms to be practiced while moving through the city and accessing essential services. Our cities now are reimagining their streets as public places through the lens of economic regeneration, safety, and child-friendly interventions to ensure a green recovery from COVID-19. The recently launched Climate Smart Cities Assessment Framework, CSCAF 2.0, which looks to provide a clear roadmap for cities to combat climate change and the Streets for People challenge, aim to make our cities people-centric, pedestrian-friendly, and climate resilient. The last decade has seen an increase in the frequency of extreme climatic events like cyclones, floods, heat waves, water scarcity, and drought-like conditions. Climate resilient infrastructure is therefore essential in the face of such adversity to safeguard the progress and prosperity our citizens are striving to achieve. Leveraging new technologies while adopting the much needed mechanisms of sustainability is changing the whole dynamic of sustainable urban living. Old bulbs to new energy efficient LEDs is an example of the sea of change taking place across our urban centers. When an individual entertains or is able to enter a GRIHA certified building, one feels a strong sense of respect, understanding, and motivation behind the architectural design. The ecosystem for sustainability and sanitation these buildings provide inspire behavioral change. The Swachh Bharat mission has generated and sustained this behavioral change for sanitation and hygiene in people through programmatic interventions and citizen-led networks. The mission has now transformed from a government-led initiative to a Jan Andolan, a people's movement. Our Smart Cities mission is working towards integrated and comprehensive development of cities and implementing several initiatives for promotion of sustainable transport, reduction in traffic congestion and air pollution, generation of renewable energy, scientific waste management, smart water and wastewater management, disaster management, and infrastructure resilience. Cities bear a massive responsibility for balancing the needs of the present with the requirements of future generations to maintain a sustainable equilibrium and to diminish the adverse effects of growing urbanization on the environment. The scale of these transformations is immense. As a result, the overall impact that India can make towards achieving the SDGs and in the fight against climate change is significant. This period of the pandemic has also proven to us how world-class smart infrastructure in our cities can help us respond to unpredictable externalities. As part of the COVID-19 response, 47 integrated command and control centers created under the Smart Cities mission are now serving as crisis management war rooms, helping monitor the on-ground situation while leveraging various technological innovations like geospatial mapping and telemedicine services. I can say with a sense of pride, what we are doing is not merely planned urbanization from an infrastructural perspective. We have recognized that a holistic approach is required that ensures a balance to achieve India's development goals while keeping sustainability at its core. I would once again commend GRIHA Council on their work and the platform it continues to provide with events such as this summit. I also congratulate them as the Honorable Vice President, Shri Venkaiah Naidu ji, will be launching the Swashvat magazine and the book 30 Stories Beyond Buildings Today, documenting the extensive collaboration between the GRIHA Council and Public Works Department, Government of Maharashtra. It is time for us to move towards and achieve a decarbonized world with our youth as the leading agents of change and policies that help us adapt and mitigate the adverse impacts of climate change. Our government, led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, is steadfast on this commitment. I wish the GRIHA Council all the best for this event and all their future endeavors. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for that thought-provoking speech. As mentioned by Sir, we are proud to announce the launch of several GRIHA publications today. I would now request our esteemed Chief Guest, Shri M. Venkaiah Naidu ji, to kindly launch the e-versions of GRIHA publications. We begin with 30 Stories Beyond Buildings, an illustrated account of the successful collaborative venture between PWD Maharashtra and the GRIHA Council. The book contains details of the processes, contributions, results, and successful completion of this ambitious undertaking. We are heartened to release our annual magazine Shashwat, which encompasses articles, interviews, and testimonials from experts with diverse backgrounds who have contributed to new areas of research in the domain of sustainability. Last but not least, GRIHA version 2019 manual, online portal, and e-learning modules. The new rating variant has undergone significant technical revisions in order to account for ongoing advancements in the highly dynamic construction sector. The GRIHA version 2019 online portal integrates the document submission processes with inbuilt ready-to-feed-in calculators and interlink criteria to reduce repeated entries. GRIHA has also taken a massive step to shift its training program to an e-learning platform called GRIHA Learning Center. Delivered by our own team of professionals, it has been developed to reach out to every individual across the nation. The publications are available on the GRIHA official website for your reference. We would like to thank Shri M. Venkaiah Naidu ji for launching the e-publications. I would now request you, sir, to kindly deliver the inaugural address.
Namaskar, Honorable Minister for Urban Affairs, Sri Hardeep Singh Puri ji, Excellency Ambassador for Denmark, Sri Ajay Mathur, President GRIHA Council and Director General TERI, Sri Sanjay Seth, and other dignitaries, my dear sisters and brothers. It's with great pleasure I join you at this Green Rating for Integrated Habitat Assessment Summit. The commitment of GRIHA to forgo partnership, both nationally and internationally, is seen in the multitude of partners, stakeholders, and delegates present on this platform today. You're all aware the Government of India is making a determined effort to transform India into a holistically sustainable nation with the involvement of all stakeholders. Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan is the vision of New India with an aim to make the country and its citizens independent and self-reliant in all spheres. We just now heard the Honorable Minister explaining the progress that is being made in this regard, and also various transformational, promotional, developmental schemes in the urban development. We're all aware there's a massive migration going on towards urban areas from the rural, and as we're all aware that the number of people living in urban areas will be increasing. According to World Green Building Council, building and construction account for 39% of the energy and related CO2 emissions in the world. We have to accelerate the process of total decarbonization of the built environment. It will be taken upon priority. Second, there are a lot of buildings that will exist in India in 2030 are yet to be built. So there is a need for concerted and coordinated efforts from all stakeholders to ensure the use of construction material that is environment friendly, and the buildings are energy and resource efficient as well. It should not only be sustainable, should not jeopardize the ability of future generations to meet their needs. The Central Public Works Department has committed that all new buildings in India will be greener. Similar commitments have been made by other government construction agencies. This is all about government. But private also should join it in a big way. I am happy that private sector developers have also committed that their future construction will be GRIHA compliant. I really compliment them. I strongly feel that we should consider making every future building to go green, mandatory, and it should apply to all kinds of buildings. Central government, state government, provincial government, local body, panchayat, every building should go green. That is the future. Otherwise, there is every danger. You all know what is happening on the climate change front. We must promote the use of renewable energy, promote waste reduction, and encourage the use of environment-friendly local material. Low carbon technologies has to be extensively promoted, as well as green building must use fewer resources and reduce greenhouse gas emissions drastically. My dear friends, traditionally our ancestors have been using nature-friendly material and designs in construction of dwelling units. However, we seem to have forgotten this climate-responsive architectural designs refined over thousands of years. Now it's time again we go back to our civilization. Our ancient civilization values teach us to live in harmony with nature. I have always said that we should love and live with the nature and follow our age-old culture. That is the path for a better future. Nature, culture, together for better future. Sustainable buildings are an important component in building resilient communities. And sustainable architecture is Indian tradition. Ancient Indian civilization has always respected the environment. It's high time for us to change our approach and ensure design and construction practices that are more sustainable and resilient. By restoring traditional practice of construction and embracing green technology, it's possible to re-navigate the building sector and encourage harmonious living with the natural environment. Climate change is real. I need not dwell on that. It's evident, it's staring at us. We are neglecting nature. That's why there is reaction. We have to strike a balance between economic development and environmental protection. Economy and ecology can coexist if one respects nature. I would like to underline, economy and ecology can coexist if one respects nature. This year has been seriously affected due to pandemic. The world has been frequently witnessing a number of natural calamities. There is an absolute need to reorient our approach to development. The decisions we make today will have repercussions for beyond our lifetimes. And we talk about sustainable architecture and design. We have to use local, naturally available resources and eco-friendly building material. The nation is passing through a critical juncture and facing many challenges. Innovative solutions and initiatives will be invaluable in tackling present problems from the coronavirus to climate change. I would like to congratulate the GRIHA Council on the launch of the upgraded version of its rating system, the GRIHA version 2019, as well as the annual Sahaswat magazine, and the book documenting the extensive collaboration between GRIHA Council and the Public Works Department, Government of Maharashtra. Every state must have this sort of partnership. It gives me great pleasure to learn that over the past year, despite pandemic, GRIHA Council has continued unabated in its endeavor to promote the sustainable long-view agenda. I would like to congratulate GRIHA Council on the development of the Building Fitness Indicator, BFI tool, a free-to-use self-assessment tool that allows organizations to measure the preparedness of workplaces to prevent exposure to COVID-19. We must utilize the light, the air, and we must have really such buildings where you have enough light, enough air circulation. This is one lesson the COVID has taught us. If the air is circulated within, then infections are likely to increase and affect more. So this is an aspect of not only environment, the wide range of human rights, including the right to life, safety, food, water, and sanitation are all included in this. The theme of this year's summit is regenerating resilient habitats. The event centers on preparedness and the need to build infrastructure that is resilient in the event of disaster. Now more than ever, it is imperative to strike a balance between social development and economic growth. The Prime Minister has given a call for reform, perform, and transform. Transformation in every walk of life. Transformation in the lives of the people. As it was explained that urban areas contribute 65% of the GDP. It will increase to 70% by 2030. Unprecedented expansion that will change the economic, social, and environmental landscape of India. At least half of country's population will live in towns and cities by 2050, creating a lot of pressure on housing sector and infrastructure and green solutions will have to be developed to meet the emerging needs. The main motto of the Government of India is to make cities livable centers of growth. The Smart City Mission is intended to promote cities and provide core urban infrastructure and give a decent quality of life. What is needed is not only comfort, but also happiness. Clean and green will lead us to sustainable environment. India has the potential to lead the global green building. The central government, the state government, the local bodies all need to join together. It's a responsibility. It should become a people's movement. It cannot be left to government alone. People should take this as a mission and promote this. There is a need to promote green building concept by both the private sector and the government. The Finance Commission and local bodies should encourage green buildings through various measures, including tax incentives. I feel that roof cooling should be an area of priority for all of us. In India, over 60% of roofs are made from metal, asbestos, and concrete, thus tapping heat inside buildings and contribution to heat island effect in urban areas. Currently, less than 10% of India households have air conditioning units, but this percentage is expected to rise substantially with the improvement in living standards and rise in temperature due to global warming. This has to be understood. Cool roofs will offer you a cool life. Simple and cost-effective solution that can lower indoor temperature by 2 to 4 degrees Celsius as compared to traditional roofs. Simple techniques such as lime-based paint, reflective coatings, or membranes can reflect the sunlight and reduce heat absorption. This can very effectively go for low-income households and slums in urban areas. Understand that pilot studies have been conducted in Hyderabad and Telangana. Rolling out a cool roof program for the entire state. If implemented effectively, it can reduce the heat stress in homes and offices and bring down the dependence on all air conditions. All states must study this, the initiative of Telangana, and try to take it up in their respective states. We must learn from others' experience. I'm happy that Excellency Ambassador Denmark has made very much progress in this. It's a model country as far as this climate change is concerned. And also they made a lot of developments in urban sector. In fact, I wanted to go to Denmark, but somehow that tour was postponed for some reason or other at that time. We are a huge country, India. There are many challenges before us. These challenges cannot be met by the government alone. I want to stress this. So that's why all stakeholders in private and public sector should join hands in this endeavor. Reports show that the implementation of Bureau of Energy Efficiency, Energy Conservation Building Code, ECBC, has not been uniform across the nation, with only 15 states and 2 urban territories, union territories, notifying the code so far. I'm happy to note that the states of Telangana and Andhra Pradesh have taken a lead in this regard. There is a need to launch mass media campaign on the advantages of building green homes, as there is a lack of awareness among the people about green building concept. For capacity building at local level, customized training programs are required for the architects, engineers, government officials, and builders in energy efficient buildings. All states should consider creating online portals and provide single window clearance to green buildings. Architects must focus on this. What is required is comfort, not fashion. And also the fashion should be locally tailor-made, keeping in mind the requirements of the local area, the climate conditions. They should plan and advise people to follow such plans. I once again thank you all for inviting me to the inauguration of this year's GRIHA Summit. GRIHA in India, in our language, means house. A very good name that way. I wish GRIHA Council all the best for this event and also for the future endeavors. I'm happy that this sort of a summit is taking place. It will provide space for interactions, understanding each other best practices, follow the same for your future. But at the same time, move on. I would like to again stress on the issue, nature, culture, together for better future. Thank you very much. Namaskar. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for that enlightening speech. I would now request Mr. Sanjay Seth, CEO, GRIHA Council, to deliver the words of thanks.
Respected Vice President of India, Shri Venkaiah Naidu ji, we are extremely grateful to you for having blessed us by inaugurating the 12th GRIHA Summit. COVID-19 has drastically affected the global economy and completely altered the nature of business as usual. In the days to come, India will require the ability to develop an economy that is more resilient to disruptions than ever before. So we are pleased to inform you that we at the GRIHA Council have risen to the challenge of embracing the new normal of remote presence in a virtual connectivity. GRIHA Council is committed to the decarbonization of the building sector. Sir, and we also thank you for reminding us of our ancient practices of construction and also reiterating the fact that economy and ecology need to coexist. I, on behalf of the GRIHA Council, also express my gratitude to the Honorable Minister for Housing and Urban Affairs, Civil Aviation and Commerce and Industry, Shri Hardeep Singh Puri ji, for gracing the event and encouraging us as we prepare ourselves to build back better under a new normal regime. We also need to ensure that the living and working spaces of the future are secure and sustainable. Sir, the GRIHA Council is working together with your ministry on the lighthouse projects that you talked about. Dr. Ajay Mathur, President, GRIHA Council and the Director General of TERI, has always been a pillar of support and encouragement to the entire team. I would like to use this occasion to thank him for standing by us through thick and thin. We also acknowledge the presence of the Excellencies of the Royal Danish Embassy, Freddie Swane, and the Australian High Commissioner Barry O'Farrell on this occasion. The support and encouragement provided by various ministries of the Government of India, the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, the Ministry of Power and New and Renewable Energy, the Ministry of Road Transport Highways are a few among the various ministries that I really need to mention. The departments of the Government of India, such as the Bureau of Energy Efficiency, the Airports Authority of India, Central Public Works Department, Energy Efficiency Services Limited, Council of Architecture, their support has always been with us and we continue to their patronage. The multilateral and bilateral agencies who have always been by the side of GRIHA on all their events and endeavors, and we hope that we continue to enjoy their commitment to the GRIHA Council. We thank you for your support in the future. We also would like to thank the various national and international academic institutions, and to name a few, the University of New South Wales, Sydney, Australia, which has been a co-creator of the GRIHA Council. The continued support and collaboration with our valued partners, ranging from developers, industrial bodies, and manufacturers, research and academic organizations, the laboratories, international and national, which have been accredited, are also we are extremely grateful to them. Our special thanks to the print and electronic media, the NIC teams at Terry Press and the IT for enabling us to host this event virtually. Last but not the least, to all my colleagues at the GRIHA Council and Terry. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. We are extremely grateful to our chief guest, Shri M. Venkaiah Naidu ji, and our guest of honor, Shri Hardeep Singh Puri ji, for sparing time from the busy schedules to join us for the annual GRIHA Summit and support resilient habitats. Thank you very much, sir.